Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Cepeda. I'm joined by my co-host, Nick Barr. Nick, quick, on your feet. Are the Chicago Bulls mid?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're just decent right now. Yep.
Yep. All right. I think see you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. No, the Chicago Bulls moved to 6-8 on the season after dropping games to the Pelicans, the Cans, and the Denver Nuggets. We know it's been a couple days, obviously, since the Pelicans game and even since the Nuggets game at this point. But we're going to start with talking about the Pelicans loss. Real heartbreaker. Nick's got some good comments
Yeah.
on that. And then we'll get into the very forgettable Nuggets loss on Sunday night. The Bulls are officially, I don't know why I said officially, these are just numbers. They are 0-3 versus the West at this moment with a chance to break that losing streak coming up on Wednesday. Again, I guess tonight when you're watching it against the Pelicans. Again, we'll get to that. Let's start with Pelicans version number 1 from last week. Nick, what you got?
Yeah, it only feels right. I know it's been a couple days, almost a week now, but like it now that we're going into our revenge week against the Pelicans, it only feels right to just address really quick last game. Obviously that was kind of the heartbreaker where it went down to the wire. There ended up being couple no calls, couple controversial calls, if you will. And that's not bias, Bulls bias speaking. The NBA officials did come out and admit they missed a few. Now, for all those hoping that there was actually a foul on DeMar when he was driving to the hole and he looked like he got hit in the face, turns out he didn't. So that's unfortunate. I don't know if I agree still, but they did admit that they missed a call on that push off. Ingram had a push off on Caruso. Caruso was looking for it. It was clearly a miss. And then I think they actually missed a call. One of our guys ended up traveling and they didn't call that either. So couple referee blunders there. Now, strangely enough, Tony, and this is in a loss, so this might just make you more sad, but this was only the third time this whole season that Zach and DeMar scored 20 plus in a game together. Now, granted, of course, Zach has been doing some left knee management. DeMar has been getting like triple teamed, so it's not that shocking, but I think the fact that they did it and then we still lost was kind of just a real knife in the heart. But it is what it is. We're here, like Tony said at the beginning. We're kind of just decent, and we just got to be okay with that because that's just what it is right now. So Tony, let's talk about this most recent loss, and this is to the Nuggets. So again, this is going through the theme here of the Bulls season so far, where it's like if we're in crunch time, if we're in that quote unquote clutch game, which is Tony, what's the definition of clutch game? It's 5-point margin or less with 5 minutes or less left of the game. We're 0-6 in those games this year. So another just like gut wrenching loss. It always stings more when you drop one at home too. Now, of course, the Nuggets are really good. Their 3-point shooting killed us, and our lack of 3-point shooting killed us. Kind of just how we've said before. It's the NBA. You do kind of live and die by the three. We ended up going 4 of 18 from three. And Tony, Michael Porter Jr., he is one person, and he scored 2 more 3-pointers than the Bulls. He was 6 for 9. He was unreal. He's been actually one of the most awesome performers, I think, this year of the NBA season. That's just a little side note. His efficiency is literally, I think, better than everyone else's in the entire league when it comes to pure shooting. Tony P. Will, he had a nice outing. DeRozan, he did okay. Vooch, kind of tough. Obviously, Jokic was just an absolute force. He was like plus 23 when he was on the court. Zach had a decent game. We're starting to see his bounce coming back. Not Io's best game. Shout out to Drummond, though. I mean, obviously, it's good to have him back. Missing him was kind of brutal. We see his impact right away. He's a little double-double machine if he's getting enough minutes. So that is a plus side. We just need some more scoring from Vooch, and we need to be able to close out games, dude. That's it. We just need to be able to close out games. And Tony, I think you can elaborate on that a little bit, but we're just kind of average right now, and we have the capability, I think, to get a lot better. Billy Donovan might need to start taking smarter timeouts. There's a lot of things. Tony, right? But give me a little breakdown on the average Bulls, we'll call them.
Yes. So the average Bull, yeah, this is actually I found this stat before I named the episode and really kind of realized everything. So that is just how it was totally unrelated. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I just kind of found it. So the Bulls currently have an average point differential of negative 0.1. So they basically average a tie every game through 14 games. They average a tie, more obviously than negative 0.1. You can't score 0.1 points in basketball, so we round that to a tie. They're scoring 110.8 points per game, allowing 110.9. That is losing. That is facts. The Nuggets game, I'm sure, did not help the average. So they're playing wildly close games, so I guess that's good.
Yeah.
I know that obviously we're saying that that's average because you're not necessarily blowing teams out, but you're also not getting blown out. But it stinks because, like you said, they are 0-6 in those clutch games. They are the worst clutch team in the league, according to those statistics. And I think we can see that is also the case. Little fun fact I found, totally means everything. This is the most important stat you will hear. Definitely. I found this while I was doing some other random research that I forgot to write down. Marko Simonovic, baby Kukoc, has a negative 19.06 player efficiency rating in 2 minutes played on the season. He's 0 for 1 from 3. Got to boost those numbers up, Marco. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing okay when he's playing for the Windy City Bulls. But that's I'll be honest, hand up, Tony. I didn't even realize he got in any game yet this season. So that is hilarious.
Yep. Dalen Terry has the next lowest with PER. I didn't write that down. It was like 4.89, and he's averaging 3 points a game, or no, 3 minutes a game. He's not averaging 3 points, I don't believe. 3 minutes a game. So really dragging us down our team average PER, probably. I'm sure that's a thing. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's what I got. It sucks. They gotta. I mean, I guess we've never really been a team to blow teams out. That's kind of just because we're not a strong 3-point shooting team. That's where you see the Warriors. That's where you see these teams truly pull away. We just gotta be clutch. We gotta finish games. That's basically. I know that was super analytical, but we just have to finish games. Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple, Tony, and I think especially for this upcoming game here against the Pelicans. So. I think when you're viewing this, it'll be tonight, the big showdown, the revenge game versus the Pelicans. So we're going to New Orleans now. We need to limit turnovers, dude. Something though I will point out, and Billy alluded to this recently in a press conference. I thought this was interesting. So we've obviously been turning the ball over a lot more than we should be, and I think more than we did last year, but part of what Billy attributed to that, and DeMar, I think, talked about it too, is that they're passing a lot more. Last year, they were in ISO situations way more. We were up there for ISO minutes or whatever the statistic is per possession. So like most of our possessions did come down to ISO situations at some point. So last year we ranked 27th lowest in passes per game at 269 passes, right? This year we averaged 318 passes, which is actually second in the league. So we're moving the ball a lot more. I think I mentioned it a couple times, like Greg Popovich would just love the ball movement. It's usually earlier in the game. We don't necessarily keep it up the whole time, but there's some moments where I'm like, is Pop coaching this team? Now, so DeMar kind of said, everybody relax. He did the old Rodgers relax. It's a growing pain. We're changing up our style of play this year, meaning I think DeMar basically was just saying, I'm not going to have the ball 90% of the time like I did last year. I need help. I'm 33 now. I can't be in my prime forever. So I think it all makes sense. So that was an interesting thing to point out. But when you are passing the ball more, that obviously means you have to limit your turnovers more, right? So it's like, it's a double-sided coin where it's like, yay, we're not playing ISO ball all the time, but also we have a higher likelihood for turnovers. So growing pains, Tony, we'll leave it at that. It's growing pains. We can do this. Let's limit the turnovers. Obviously, it would be awesome to see either Zach or DeMar. Well, actually, what would be preferred is for both of them to score 20 plus points. Since, like I said, it's only happened 3 times this year. That feels way too low. So that needs to happen. Vooch, I want to see him like closing out games with those big threes. Like he can miss all of them during the course of the game, but then he hits those fourth quarter threes, and it's like we bring him back in with loving arms. And I think that's what we need right now, man. We just need the closeout. So we'll see.
Well, what we also may need is another potential little, I don't know why I said another, just the first little shakeup. Maybe Nick, I know you did some digging. You found you had your ear to the old NBA
mill.
railroad rails. What when they listen to hear if the train's coming, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what you did. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, so at this point, I think you kind of got to think to yourself, I think we've been saying it for the past couple of years, is Patrick Williams worth it? Do we want to extend him at the end of the year? Do we want to use him as a trade asset right now? It's that ever looming question over Bulls fans' heads. But I'm sure that, the people that actually work in the Bulls organization, I'm sure they're thinking about it a little bit as well, but mostly us as fans, we're thinking about it. So, I mean, really at this point, I think we're all okay with parting ways with Coby White. I know last year we had a little, there were still some people saying, give him a chance. Now, I think everyone is, for the most part, okay with getting rid of him, and obviously getting Tony Bradley's contract off the books would be really nice too. So perhaps using those two in a trade situation, maybe throwing in that pick from the Trailblazers that will hopefully come to fruition this year, given that they're a good squad. So I think we'll get our draft pick. So just a few ideas, Tony. I think the one I like the most, so they threw out the article I read threw out quite a few names. They were throwing out Kuzma, John Collins we heard of last year. He's struggling quite a bit this year, but if we were to take on John Collins, it's assuming he would shoot a lot better in just a better environment. DeJounte Murray kind of took over his spot there. Harrison Barnes, Anthony Davis, that's always a tough one. We would have to give up a lot for him, obviously.
So much.
So I tried to pick one in between, one that probably shouldn't move the needle too much. Hopefully people don't get mad at us for talking about it. But Tony, Jay Crowder, I know I picked this kind of this was kind of a bias. I really like Jay Crowder. Kuzma would be awesome too, though. But let's just say this: Jay Crowder for Coby White, a pick, and Tony Bradley. One, would this trade even go down? I mean, monetarily, that would make it work out, but would that even be accepted? And then 2, are you even interested in that?
Those are the questions for sure, because I don't know if I'm interested in it, because that pick might be valuable.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. And so it is. And Jay Crowder's salary or his contract is up at the end of the season. So it would be a rental, be a $10 million rental. I know that obviously the salaries are shifting. So, the 10 million balances out in its own way. The only thing I would say is we may not be able to just unload a Tony Bradley contract, I will say, but Jay Crowder is not happy with the Suns organization. He wants out. He does.
Yeah.
Suns. Yeah. He wants to be out of there. He was posting and I think it was media day. He was posting, he made it like, it was an Instagram reel or something where he was like pretending to be an agent, being like, oh yes, hello, I would love to trade for Jay Crowder. Like it was a whole thing. He made a whole thing. The Boss Man 99, I think it is.
Yeah, that's definitely. Instagram. I know he has like a ridiculous Instagram name that like
it may have been deleted.
It sounds like an AOL screen name or something.
But he made something, right. Some little. I think it was a skit. Maybe it was a picture. There was something related to him with a phone pretending to field trade offers for himself, more or less. So
hilarious.
The Suns might just be like, let's just get anything for him, and that's where we may be able to do just a straight pick for him. It may be a Coby, and obviously you got to make money work. I don't know what kind of exemptions we have. I'd have to look at the NBA trade simulator thing, but
it's something to think about. It's something to think about, right? And I think and I think less so like this specific situation itself. I think I just wanted to pick a guy. I like Jay Crowder. I don't even necessarily know if that's what I would do, but I think it's just something to think about, a little carrot in the brain, just because I don't know. Of course, we don't know what the front office thinks of P. Will. I know right now, I personally, I go back and forth. You see these games where he's had 15 points. He's shooting very efficiently. Obviously, he's had a couple games with like 3 or 4 blocks. So clearly the impact is there, but is it enough to like invest in this guy some more down the road? It's like that's the question, and that's what we don't know the answer to in the front office.
Yeah, Patrick Williams does lead the team in blocks per game. I saw that it was either 1.8 or 1.6. That rounded number, I can't remember it in my brain right now, but it was something in there, which is pretty good, especially when you got obviously Drummond's been hurt, but Vooch, tall guy, always protecting the rim. So there's something to be said for that. Either way, not the highest of vibes in general right now. We are still without Lonzo. We have a big opportunity to bounce back and, grab 2 wins against the Pelicans in New Orleans. So maybe the boys get their drink on Wednesday night after a big W, get the vibes going again, spirits up, as you could say.
Spirits.
Many, many different ways. Yes. New Orleans also haunted. So then also home against the Magic on Friday. I don't feel any magic coming from Orlando against the Bulls. I'm trying here, folks. So I think the Bulls win that game. Obviously, Wendell Carter's going to be just a menace. He always is. It is. He hates the Bulls, and I get it. They kind of gave up on him. Whatever. He hates the Bulls more than anybody I know hates anything in life. It is truly visceral hatred.
Hatred. Yeah.
Hatred. Dear.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here because I forgot how to talk. So I think it's just best for everyone. We'll be back. We're actually gonna try to do a live stream. If anybody's listening right now, hop in the live stream Wednesday night tonight after the game. We will take questions, comments, whatever. We'll talk to you. Hey, if you're the only one in there, that you listening right now, if you're the only one in there, you can just unload. We'll stay on as long as you want us to.
VIP
questions.
We will. It'll be a full-on Q&A, dude. We don't even have to talk about Bulls.
Whatever you want, man. Yeah, we can, or woman, whoever's listening, we can talk about anything. Yeah, just what movies we watched recently, whatever. All right, we're about 18 minutes, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone, still totally sticking around for tuning into this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host Nick Barr. We will see you all tonight after the Pelicans and the Bulls in New Orleans. A little live stream action. So from all of us in, Just Another Year Chicago, keep seeing red.
Keep seeing red.